Watson Brown and Rivaldo van der Westerleken in front of Avaska, Treves, Liveris, French, Robinson and Martinez, just in front of the man in the top 10, Riku Salmonortio. Driver of the day, well, you've got to say Saul Robinson, haven't you? Made up 15 places from P8. He finishes there, and he started way back in I've been trying to work out where, in fact, he actually started from originally. 23rd position. So a fair play from Saul Robinson there, right towards the back. And he made up some very impressive work there. Alejandro Martinez and Rico Salmonortio in the top 10. From Boris Young, Simon Henrard, Tom Ward, another good comeback from him in 13th place. Made up 11 places of his own. Lester So. Kim Sang did well. Made up 7 places, up to 15th position. And then it's Kira Scott and Masato Rawada, with Matthew Gilliland out, Stuart Middleton and Jack Tomalin also out, and then Rufus Hunt, Lena Bueller, and then non-starters for William Godefroid, Joey Van Splunteren and Antoine Perceval. So a disappointing day for some, and for Toni Harainen, that will at least make up for the disappointment of not making it into the grand finale. But now we turn our attention to the littlest racers of the weekend, the X30 Minis, and these guys are going to have a pretty intense pre-final leading into the latter stages of the day. So this is the first of the pre-finals. We'll have more pre-finals later, of course, as we work our way through the ebb and flow of the day. But this one is a potentially good one for the man on pole position. Just 11 years of age, Miguel Pero Lozorraga. He did a fantastic job yesterday, winning 2 of the 3 heats. And he has been absolutely incredible all weekend. The FA Racing Spain youngster has been at the front pretty much all day long. Santivalve has been alongside him on the front row of the grid for most of the weekend, and he now finds himself there again. Santivalve trying his best to win another race. He got the victory in the second heat of the 3 yesterday, and that is what puts him at the front end of the grid. Lucas Flucha will line up on the second row of the grid alongside the Portuguese driver Ivan Dominguez. Sergio Ruiz Alvarez is on the third row alongside the 9-year-old superstar from just down the road in Zaragoza, just about an hour's drive from here, and that is Bria Bogdan Ionut. Ruben Volt of Estonia lines up beside Alejandro Melendez on the fourth row of the grid, and then on the fifth row it is Nathan Ottink and Oliver Wright, known to his friends as Pineapple. He actually has it on the back of his overalls, I notice, as well. So if you want to find Oliver Wright in the Fusion Garage, just shout Pineapple and he'll turn around and come running. Row 6 is all Spanish again. Bruno Del Pino and Juan Cota, who has made incredible recovery drives, I have to say. Juan Cota starting every single race from the back of the grid after a disappointing qualifying session where he didn't get any running in. But Juan Cota has made great progress to come back onto the 6th row. Alex Anido and Sondre Norheim are on the 7th row of the grid, with Gabriel Stilp and Max Stanger on the 8th row of the starting grid. And then we have Louis Hofbeck and Thomas Hassinen on the 9th row of the starting grid. And that is the Dane and the Finn, and then the Norwegian Tobias Schoenberg, who's had a very disappointing weekend by his standards and really struggled to get the luck to go his way. He now finds himself on the back of the grid in 19th place. So is the winner of the whole thing going to be a Spaniard? Well, so far it's been Spanish victories all the way for Miguel Pero Lozorraga twice, and then Santivalve on one occasion as well. So it definitely looks as though it's going to go that way. Ivan Dominguez could spring a surprise from the second row. So too could Lucas Flucha from the second row of the grid on the inside line. So there's plenty of opportunities for drivers to make a good move. But of course, also on that inside line, we have the Estonian Ruben Volt from Tallinn in Estonia. And Nathan Ottink of Holland is in there as well on the 5th row alongside Oliver Wright, who again is on the outside line. I spoke to Oliver about it this morning. I said, outside line? He just went, nah, I'll be fine. Don't you worry. So he's getting straight on with it. He's got bags of confidence, as Oliver Wright. He knows what he has to do. He knows what he's capable of doing. So he's just getting straight on with it and getting stuck in. Good lad. There's 2 drivers on the 6th row, both of whom have had strong moments through the weekend. Bruno Del Pino was very strong in qualifying initially, hasn't really had the luck go his way. That is largely because he started every single one of his races on the second row on the outside. So again, he has fallen foul of the fact that he's basically been in the wrong place at the wrong time off the start. And once that happens at the beginning of your race, it kind of falls around at your ears after that point. Juan Cota, alongside him, however, has been on an amazing comeback drive ever since the start of Heat 1. making his way back from last place in every single one of the heats, thanks to the fact he set no qualifying times. So he's done an amazing job to come back, and that is why he now finds himself on the 6th row of the grid for the pre-final. Anido and Norheim, they could do with a good result at this point. Gabriel Stilp, his first weekend in Europe. The Brit is doing a great job for Mad Croc and gaining a lot of confidence and speed. Now he finds himself on the inside line for the pre-final, so that should give him a good opportunity to move forward. Max Stanger, the Spaniard alongside him, has had all sorts of bad luck. Again, very, very talented, very, very fast, but again, no luck at all. So hopefully it will change in the pre-final. Then we have the Scandinavians at the back of the grid in Louis Hofbeck of Denmark, Thomas Hassinen of Finland, and Tobias Schoenberg of Norway. All three of whom have had speed over one lap and good pace and good composure. But again, the luck has just not really been with them so far over the course of Saturday's races. They only had 3 races to do, of course, in the X30 Minis. But when you've got an incredibly tight and competitive grid such as this one, it is never easy to make that kind of progress. So we'll just see how they go. But all eyes are on the front row of the grid. Miguel Pero Luzaraga and Santi Valde, the only 2 drivers so far this weekend who have won races in the X30 Mini class, and they will be the favourites for this one. It's going to be interesting to see who gets the better of the other, but so far, FA Racing Spain's Miguel Pero Luzaraga has been the favourite. He comes into this one full of confidence and full of expectation for a strong result, and away he goes. So Miguel Pero Luzaraga will head out onto the grid against his Kids to Win rival, Santi Valde, and here is your grid. Luzaraga, Valde, Flusha, Dominguez, Ruiz Alvarez, Bogdaninut, Volt, Melendez, Ottink, Wright, Del Pino, Kota, Anido, Norheim, Stilp, Stanger, Hofbeck, Hassinen and Schoenberg. So as the drivers make their way around the circuit, just getting up to speed, it'll be interesting to see what the battle is going to be like between Luzaraga and Valve. I can see those two going very, very close together all the way through the race, in fact. But Miguel, or Miggy as he is known, is going to be a very interesting racer here this weekend. He's been very strong, he's very quiet, he's very confident, but he really loves racing on this circuit. He's taken 2 very successful championship campaigns here as the Spanish champion. So Miguel Pero Luzaraga has got plenty of good racing ahead of him, and here today in the pre-final and the final, it looks as though he could be one of the drivers to watch. He's just keeping his form, keeping his composure. He knows that now is the moment to make it count in the pre-final, when he can really start to set the ball rolling and pull away from the rest of his opposition. All of the drivers at this point know what's at stake. They're not going to do anything silly at this point, especially when they know that they've got the final coming up after this one. That will be the most intense race of the day, of course, as it always is in these international competitions. The sun has started to go out over the clouds a little bit. That will keep the track a little bit cooler than we've seen so far in the day, but plenty of rubber has gone down already, so they'll have plenty of grip for this race. It'll probably be the most grippy that the X30 Minis have found it all weekend, so it could well be a very interesting and a very fast race for the X30 Minis. Their lap times are usually around the 64-second mark at their very fastest. They're about 10 seconds slower than our fastest class, the X30 Super Shifters in the gearbox rankings. So we'll see how it all goes and how it fares out for the 2 men on the front row of the grid, for Miguel Pero Luzaraga and Santi Valde on the front row of the grid. Second row, Lucas Jack Fluchacross, and then we have Ivan Dominguez on the second row, the Portuguese driver in there as well. 2 Spaniards on the third row, Sergio Ruiz Alvarez and Bria Bogdaninut. Ruben Volt and Alejandro Melendez on the fourth row, Nathan Ottink and Oliver Wright making it a Dutch and Brit on the fifth row. And they have an opportunity to spoil the Spanish party. It could be an interesting one at the front, though, with 5 out of the top 6 being local drivers. But so far, it's all been in the hands of Miguel Pero Luzaraga. Will he finish the day in fine style? Will he start it in fine style here in the pre-final? Let's find out. Luzaraga on the left. Valve on the right. It's not going to be the best of starts. In fact, it's not a good start at all because the 9.23 was a long way back, Sergio Ruiz Alvarez. That's not a great start, so they're going to have to form up and do it again. They have to make it an even start. So no racing on this particular occasion. The lights haven't gone out, and so they are all going to form up again, just in case it wasn't tense enough. And I know that the parents and the teams and the engineers on the sidelines are already getting a little bit nervous for their boy wonders. But it's always going to be quite tense at this point in their careers. The pre-final of a major European international event such as the IAME Winter Cup. Always going to be a tight and intense battle. Always going to be an interesting competition. So we'll see how it works out for our two men on the front row, Luzaraga and Valve, as they get ready for the action. Third position on the grid, Lucia Cross for Praga, España, alongside Ivan Dominguez for the crop promotion. Another of the FA racing drivers there in the 923, Sergio Ruiz Alvarez. And alongside him on the starting grid, as we mentioned already, Bria Bogdan Ianut, the 9-year-old from Zaragoza. So on the back straight, into this flat-out double right kink. It's flat out on the throttle when you're in race mode. Get it wrong, and it could hurt a lot in the barriers on the far side. Get it right, and it sets you up for a beautiful run through the chicane, which is the final part of the lap. We've already seen quite a bit of action there over the course of the weekend. Luzaraga versus Valve. This time they need to stay clean and clear. Is it going to be a better start this time? It'll do, but there's still quite a lot of space, which is where the 918 shoots straight into the gap. Bria Bogdanianut gets a good start in the middle of the pack, and that's going to put him up into 4th or 5th position by the time they get through. But at the front of the pack, it is Miguel Perez Luzaraga. And it is Flusha who has got through into 2nd position. A clean start for the X30 Minis. Very nearly a bit of a contretemps further back. But it looks as though they've all just about got through unscathed. But it's Luzaraga who leads. Flusha in 2nd place as the rest of the field picks their way through out of turns 6 and 7. Up onto the back stretch towards turn 10. This is going to be interesting as out in front, Luzaraga holding on in front of Flusha into turn 11. And that's a bold move on the inside there. I think that's Melendez moving through. Melendez has gone through up into 4th position. Then a good start from the youngster. He's always got a nice smiling wave for me as I commentate from my box. He always looks over when he's watching and gives me a wave. But Melendez is doing an absolutely cracking job. And up to 3rd position now goes Melendez. He's absolutely on it now. Luzaraga, Flusha and Melendez. Great stuff at the moment from the 928. Dominguez is 4th from Valve, who's down to 5th place now. Otting, Bogdanianut, Ruiz Alvarez, Del Pino and Ruben Volt. Then it's Gabriel Stilp in front of Oliver Wright. The two Brits in 11th and 12th, battling away for position. So it's not the best of starts for Oliver Wright. Something's not quite right with Pineapple, down in 12th position. He's going backwards rather than forwards, but he has got time to improve in this 7-lap pre-final. Here we go. Out of turn 7 once again and up towards 9. Through that double apex on the far side of the circuit, down to turn 10 on the inside line, the left-hand hairpin. Melendez is getting close to these two up front. This is almost a rerun of the first heat of the weekend where we had Miguel Perez Luzaraga and Lucas Flusha-Cross battling away for the victory. Last time, it was Flusha-Cross who almost got one over on Perez Luzaraga at the line. He'll want to get a little bit closer to him a little bit earlier. Melendez and Dominguez are getting very close. Melendez up the inside for first, potentially to take the lead of the race. It gets past Flusha-Cross, no problem. Melendez almost getting into the lead, and now he's going to... Oh, being moved straight across. Melendez hits the front for the first time this weekend. Wow, Luzaraga was desperately trying to shut the door. Flusha-Cross is now on his left side, and up the inside goes Dominguez. It's all kicking off in the pre-final. Dominguez gets through to 2nd, runs over the curbs. Flusha-Cross is going to get through. So Flusha-Cross through into 2nd place, Luzaraga back into 3rd, but Alejandro Melendez has got the lead, and he's got space as well. Flusha-Cross is there in 2nd. Luzaraga defends 3rd position in front of Ivan Dominguez, and this has suddenly become an electric motor race. But Alejandro Melendez is leading the way. He's doing an absolutely cracking job. It's 3 or 4 wide further back as Santevalde tries to make progress up the inside. Luzaraga no longer in 3rd position. That is now the Portuguese star, Ivan Dominguez, who has got through. So Ivan Dominguez now in 3rd position in front of Luzaraga, the favourite for this meeting and the pole sitter. 2 heat wins yesterday. Now he finds himself in 4th position. But it is Alejandro Melendez who leads the way. 2nd is Flusha-Cross. 3rd is Dominguez. 4th is Luzaraga. Across the line, 5th is, I think 5th position is now, oh no, sorry, that is Santevalde in 3rd position. My apologies. It is Ivan Dominguez in 5th place, battling it out with Nathan Otting, who has now fallen back behind Bria Bogdanianut. So Santevalde finds himself there in 3rd place. Lots of battles and lots of pressure as Luzaraga is now behind him. The top four are very close together again. Melendez leads it. Flusha is second. Valve is third. And fourth position, that is Luzaraga. Alejandro Melendez going well here, leading very well in front of Flusha. Up the inside goes Santi Valve. And also on the other side, up on the inside line goes Luzaraga and gets past Santi Valve as well. That gives Alejandro Melendez a little bit of breathing space at the front of the field. Down the max straight, they're going to work together to close up on Melendez. Watch out, here comes Luzaraga up the inside and hits the front once again. Valve's going to get through as well. And if Melendez isn't careful, Flusha will get a run on him into turn one. Oh, magnificent. And now Valve and Luzaraga work together. For a moment at least, Valve gets through and retakes the lead. Melendez is right on the back of Luzaraga once again. He has definitely had his Weetabix this morning. He is absolutely on it. Through 3 and 4. Here comes Valve up the inside once more. Luzaraga takes the lead. Valve's going to be shunted down to 4th position. He shuffles backwards down the pack. So it's Luzaraga, Melendez. 3rd is Flusha and 4th place now is Santi Valve. With 5th position now, Nathan Otting, the Dutchman. So the Dutchman, Nathan Otting, is coming. And who's that in 6th place? Is that Sergio Ruiz Alvarez, I think, having moved his way further forward. But it's all starting to kick forward now as we've got a few drivers working their way through. There's a few struggles for a couple of the drivers out there, just looking through the field. At the moment, it is Luzaraga. No, it isn't. Flusha has come through, pike past Melendez. So for the first time in the race, it is now Lucas Flusha who leads the way. Here comes Melendez again. The battle for 3rd position is dropping back. And here comes Priya Bogdanianut. Priya Bogdanianut goes for 3rd position, but he's got someone on his inside as well. Priya Bogdanianut has got Luzaraga to the inside, and he comes through. Here comes Ivo Dominguez on the far side. Look at the squabble for 3rd position. Priya Bogdanianut's going to the left side of Dominguez. And up to the inside comes Nathan Otting. Oh, it's getting very close and hectic and now. Up the inside, 2 or 3 more make the move. Oliver Wright's joined the back of the queue now as well. Oh, it's getting incredibly intense now as the drivers are battling away, getting some absolutely incredible overtaking. 3rd position is anybody's guess as there's about 7 or 8 of them now squabbling over it. But it is Lucas Flusha and Alejandro Melendez who have been able to get a little bit of space and get away from the rest of the pack on this, the penultimate lap of this race. The pre-final has definitely thrown a spanner in the works for the 2 men on the front row of the original grid, Piero Luzaraga and Valve. But it is Lucas Flusha who leads the way for Praga España. He was on the podium yesterday. Can he get the victory? Alejandro Melendez is trying to catch him. Luzaraga defending from Priya Bogdanianut. Nathan Otting is there in 5th position. 6th place is Dominguez from Ruiz Alvarez, Del Pino, Valve, Volt, Wright and Gabriel Stilt. Gabriel Stilt leads the chasing pack. Oliver Wright is at the back of the queue. Oh, and there's contact! Contact, that is Nathan Otting connecting with Sergio Ruiz Alvarez. They came together there, and Nathan Otting has dropped back quite a few positions. That is such a shame for the Dutchman. But it's now between Flusha and Melendez. Luzaraga and Priya Bogdanianut are not far away. But they're going to need to close up. This is one heck of a challenge now from your race leader. Oh, Flusha goes wide. Melendez has a chance to catch him. Alejandro Melendez might get the undercut here. He's diving for the inside. There's not a lot of space. He tries to get through. And the door is shut firmly there by Flusha. Down the back straight, and I'm fairly sure it's over. I think Lucas Flusha is going to get his first win of the weekend for Praga España. Down to the chicane. He's defending. He doesn't need to. Melendez isn't close enough. Now Melendez might get a chance to get there. Luzaraga's going to get close as well. Across the line, it's Flusha. Flusha wins it from Melendez and Luzaraga. Priya Bogdanianut is 4th place. Dominguez is 5th from Del Pino, Valve, Otting, Wright and Ruiz Alvarez. Ruben Volt is 11th position in front of Gabriel Stilt. Juan Cota in 13th place in front of Sondra Norheim, Louis Hofbeck, Alex Anido, Thomas Hassinen, Max Stanger and Tobias Schoenberg. But what a... Oh, somebody's gone off there on the slowing down lap. We've got someone off the circuit on the slowing down lap. Now, who is that that's gone? I wonder if that is Nathan Otting. Is that Otting that's gone? I'm not sure who that is from this distance back. But we have somebody who's gone off the circuit there on the slowing down lap. Oh, what a dramatic pre-final in the X30 Minis. My goodness, we have a completely different winner. His name, Lucas Flusha. So the Praga España driver wins from Alejandro Melendez and Miguel Pero Lizarraga. Bria Bogdanianut is fourth in front of Ivan Dominguez, Bruno Del Pino, Santivalde, Nathan Otting, Oliver Wright, and Sergio Ruiz Alvarez. Wow. And I tell you what, anybody that's now going to be starting on the odd side of the grid for the final is definitely going to be smiling wide. Lucas Flusher-Cross, Miguel Pero Lizarraga, Ivan Dominguez, Santivalde, and Oliver Wright. Those are the top 5 that will start on the inside line for the final. And that will make them very happy indeed. It could be the best possible start.